Welcome to the Marshall News and Views Show. I'm Elaine Conyers, and my guest today is Russ Labat, who is the publisher of the Marshall Independent newspaper, but he has also taken on the volunteer position of heading up the Marshall Sounds of Summer. And I just want to give you a little background on that. You know, you look around the area, and all the towns around us have had celebrations most of the years. Mm-hmm. And Marshall is, well over 125 years. We never had a celebration until Russ and Mark Clythe decided, okay, let's put together something following when the Schwans had that
correct their 50th anniversary.
Their 50th anniversary. Right. And you look around, and Ghent has what is the one?
Belgium American Days in Ghent.
Mm-hmm. Tyler's got the Abelskever Days. All this stuff, and Marshall never had anything. Now, because of these two gentlemen, we have an annual parade. And this is what
this will actually be our seventh year that we've put it together ourselves, or the committee has put it together, 7th year. And
the city council voted not too long ago to make a very official thing now. So we're there, and you've got a job ahead of you for many years to come.
Well, I don't know about that, Elaine. Hopefully, there's somebody going to be coming up, but it's been a lot of fun. It's it's Mark and I talk all the time. It's again, I echo what you said about the city celebrations. Mm-hmm. The Tracy Boxcar Days and the Tyler Abelskever Days and the Ivanhoe Polish Days and things like that, Belgian American Days. They're all great celebrations, and they've been around for years and years and years. And you know what it is. You helped plan the Marshall celebration here a few years back, and it does take a lot of work. It does take a lot of a commitment from people. Yeah. It takes time. It takes coordination. And Mark and I, and again, Mark and I are probably in the front of the committee. Mark Clayth and I, but we have some committee members that help us tremendously in the background. And I'm not going to mention all their names, but they know who they are, and we sure appreciate, or I appreciate, all the things they do, because I don't have to do much anymore. I say that I just kind of coordinate things, and I call on those committee members and say, hey, can you take care of this? And it's taken care of. We had our last kind of planning final checklist meeting last night, and we had a list of about maybe 30 to 45 things that we have to just to make sure they're done. And as we went through the list, the people on that committee said, yep, it's taken care of. Yes, it's taken care of. Yep, I'll take care of it.
Isn't that wonderful?
It's great. It's absolutely great. Yeah. So, and that hasn't come, overnight. That's come with the 7 years of growth. And the first couple of years were tough because there was no history there. Yeah. And now we've got some history. We're building some tradition, very similar to the area communities. Again, I make reference to Boxcar Days, and that's probably a 75-year or 100-year tradition. We will get there eventually. But we're starting out. We started out small, and again, thanks to the Schwan Food Company, because that's how the celebration for Marshall really started. Was with the Schwan Food Company and their 50th anniversary, and what a celebration that was. And we thought, the chamber and other individuals in town thought at that time, hey, let's build on this. Let's see if we can make it an annual thing. So. Again, that's what we did, and I have to credit the chamber way back when. They picked the date, the third weekend in August. Yeah. They did a lot of study on that from what they tell me, and they always found out that the third weekend in August was one of the nicest weekends of the year. So that's why people say, why don't you do it earlier? But
But also then it's before school starts, and it's usually the same weekend as the university opens.
Correct. Yeah.
Why do you suppose, because I've tried to figure this out, why didn't Marshall ever have?
Boy, Elaine, I can't answer that question. Maybe for lack of, not leadership, maybe leadership, or maybe, the resources, whatever the case may be. I don't know, but, there was probably a willingness. It's just that, the time commitment that you have to put in the first couple of years is tremendous,
And I would like to add, because I think this had something to do with it, so many people in Marshall have lake cabins.
Oh, sure.
Mm-hmm. And especially, those, a few years back, not way at the beginning, obviously, but they would go off to their cabins. Because I know after the 125th, the city said, well, let's do this again the next year. Not as big, but and everybody had left town. I had a dance scheduled out at the ice arena and the firemen were in charge of the security, and they called me and said, "There's nobody here, so can we dance with each other?" And it was just like, but I think another thing too, now we have more blue collar workers in town, and they don't have cabins.
Right.
And so there's more interest in a town celebration. And I think maybe some of those cabin owners will stay home too.
Oh, I think they do. I mean,
this.
and again, you made reference to school starting. The public schools start the Monday following the summer. Now this year the university is also starting that Monday after too.
Yeah.
A couple of the past years they started a week later, but this year they're starting at the same schedule as that Monday. So, and we just think that sure, there's going to be some people that leave town to go to their lake homes or go last minute school shopping or whatever the case would be, or they're going to stay in town. But we feel that we're going to offer enough for the family to do, that we want them to stay in town for whatever, even if it's one night, even if it's Thursday or Friday night, or come back on Saturday and partake in Saturday, or the splash party or the praise service on Sunday. We've got a lot of variety of things going on, so
and a lot of it is free.
Absolutely,
and that's a big thing.
And again, our philosophy was family fun free events, and that's what we want. And thank goodness for the city of Marshall, of course, and our various sponsors with the businesses and individuals around town, because they have been very, very supportive to us over the years. And again, I go back to Mark and I. We can just make a phone call, or we'll see somebody on the street, and they'll say, "Count us in."
Great.
Count us in.
Great.
You want the same thing as last year?
Yeah.
Sure. It's a nice relationship that we have.
It's
and
wonderful.
we try and build on it. We get more people involved. We've added some new things this year, especially on the Friday night lights. That event is just, we hope it's going to continue to grow and grow and grow. That committee is, as I say respectfully, they're running a little bit scared because they really don't know what to plan for, because it's an all-new event.
Yeah.
And we can relate to that, because that was exactly what happened to us 7 years ago. And I said, don't worry, everything will work out. So.
Well, tell me about that Saturday night event.
Well, what it is a group of churches got together, and they're having what they've aligned themselves with Life Light, and that's a Christian organization, and they're actually going to bring in 4 different bands on Friday night. And again, they were looking for a place, or looking for something to do, and they wanted to go to Liberty Park, and as you know, Liberty Park has kind of been spoken for with Shakespeare. The Marshall Area Stage Company kind of does Shakespeare every year there. So, and again, we've got the philosophy that if you've done something in the prior year, until you say no, we're going to continue to work with you, or work with that group or that organization. So again, this church group came to us, and Mark and I put our heads together, and we said, you know what? Why don't we just put it downtown? We've got the tents all set up, the stage is set up, the whole area is fenced off, the street can be done, and they thought it was a great idea, and that committee is excited. They really are. They've got a great committee. They've done a lot of good things. There will be an admittance charge on the Friday night, and very minimal. I think they're trying to sell advance tickets for $5 or $8 at the door. So again, that's their event. But again, that's something different that's never been offered. And then along with Friday night, when they came to us on Friday night, we said, make sure you work with the university, because we didn't want to interfere with the Smoke Fest and the things that are going on at the university. And again, the university stepped to the plate and they said, no, it won't be a problem. That's fine. So we think that there's probably going to be some overlap a little bit with some individuals going both places. But there'll be some individuals that go one place or the other. But we're really excited about that Friday night. I think it'll continue to grow, and we hope it continues to grow and add to it.
So the Friday night is going, events are going to be in that Schwann's parking lot.
In the parking lots downtown.
Just that where all the events are, that's the place to go.
Correct. There's a couple of events that are off-site of that location. Again, Wednesday night, Brow Brothers came to us rather late, but we got them. They're actually kicking off the event on Wednesday night, and out at Brow Brothers, they're going to have an individual out there. He's an acoustic guitar player, and he does a wonderful job. They're just going to kind of silently kick off Sounds of Summer and at the Brow Brothers on Wednesday night. They're really doing that to help kick off and also honor the fire department, because this year we've partnered with the volunteer fire department as they celebrate their 125th year in Marshall, and you know, I'm a retired firefighter, and that brotherhood, we call it the Brotherhood of Smoke Eaters, that they will support one another, and we're hoping for an additional, you know, maybe 25 to 30, maybe even 50 extra fire trucks in the parade on Saturday. So that group really responds, and fire departments will come about. So that really kicks it off on Wednesday night, and then, you know, we can't forget our senior citizens, and they're going to go back. They've moved their event from Wednesday night to Thursday, and they're having a band at the YMCA, and they're going to have bars and food and stuff for sale. But again, that's for the senior citizens. If they don't want to come out at night, and that event is going to be at the YMCA on Thursday afternoon, I should say. So So then, and then Thursday night we kick off with. Due to popular demand, we're bringing back Rib Fest, and the Hitchin Post has graciously said he'll do the ribs again for up to 300 people, and we're going, you know, after if we run out of ribs, we're going to have some other food available. So we've got some food vendors coming down. And then, you know, one of the entertainments, and they came to us, they came to Mark at the conclusion of last year and say, since it's celebrating the fire department 125th, all my favorites we'd like to perform for you. So, you know, all my favorites has got that rich tradition of performing. They recently performed for the hospice benefit, and they draw sellout crowds all the time. So they're performing for us on Thursday night, and you know, it's a bunch of talented local musicians, and they put on a great show. So we're looking forward to that. You know.
It's wonderful when to have people or organizations come to you and say we want to be part of that. That really spells success right off.
My email kind of takes a beating at certain times because the word is getting out, because I must have in the last probably couple of months, I probably get anywhere from 2 to 3 emails a week with the various entertainment bands, and they're coming from Minneapolis, they're coming from Sioux Falls, they're coming from areas. I had a call from a vendor, believe it or not, a food vendor that was in the Kansas City area, that they want to come up. They want to. So, I mean, word is getting out. So it's that slow growth.
Right.
You know, we're going through our growing pains. So, you know, and one of the other things that we've got going on is you know, again, we work with a lot of the local organizations. You know, Rotary. We work with the Marshall High School and the M Club, and we work with Southwest State University. And the hockey group, they all have their different functions that they're having. Their golf scrambles, the pancake breakfast sponsored by the Rotary. So there's a lot of things to do in a short period of time, from Thursday or Wednesday night to Sunday. And again, we brought some good things. One of the things that we're excited about, we worked with the AEFCE here at the Marshall Public Schools, and they're bringing a children's concert. And it's Phil Baker Music out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and he performs for young kids. It's not the 7, 8, 10, 12, 15-year-olds. It's the small children. He puts on a children's concert. I've seen it on the website. I have not seen it in person, so we're looking forward to that. Again, going back to our theme, Sounds of Summer and music, so we're looking forward to that.
And where will that performance
That will be down at the park, down at the parking lots by Schwann's. So,
good.
So yeah, there's and again, I'm rambling a lot here, but most of this stuff is automatic in my head now, but there's a lot of things going on, but we add some things, and now I have to reference my poster all the time a little bit, so,
No, that's just wonderful. So many people are talking about it, of course, and that also says that people really like it. It's become a tradition now, and that's just wonderful. And that's what we've needed for years.
Yeah, we've it's, and again, I hate to be repetitious here, but you know, it's that history. It takes that slow growth, and you know, I'm not going to do this forever, and I don't know if Mark is or not. But there'll be people that step up, hopefully, and want to continue, maybe change things a little bit. You know, and that's fine. You know, change is good. I mean, you can do the same thing. We get requests at the end of every year. You know, we have a survey on our website, marshallsoundsofsummer.com, and people say, well, get bigger entertainment and get a carnival and get, you know, those things will come. But, and again, it's the tradition that we have. We've only been really in existence for 7 years. So, you know, we're not going to spend, you know, $25,000 on a big band when we can't afford that. So eventually we may be able to do that.
Yeah, that's right. So that's wonderful. So, anything else that you were thinking about? I know, well, I did mean to ask you about the parade, because there is going to be a little bit of change in that parade route because of our road construction.
Correct, Elaine. And you being on the city council, you're probably well aware, you know, that Main Street project was supposed to be done by now,
yeah,
but they ran into some difficulties in a couple block area there by Casey's and down to A Street, and you know, we're going to deal with it the best we can. We met with Glenn Olson and the city staff, and they met with the contractor that's doing that project. We said, what's the best way? How can we make this thing work? And the contractor has guaranteed or assured us, I should say, that he will make that intersection on A Street and Main Street enough so we can have the parade units turn. So we will actually start at our normal start route down by Independence Park. And again, let me remind people that we're doing a little different lineup with the parade this year. We're not issuing numbers by anything. It's a first come, first served lineup. We had a lot of requests in years past of saying, I have to be toward the front, I have to be toward the front. So if you want to be toward the front and you have a partner that wants to be toward the front with another parade unit, you better be there early, because there's going to be no open spots saved. And then once the parade starts, you know, we're going to take 10 units from one side and go with those, and 10 units from the other side and go with those. So it's a little different lineup. But they will proceed down from Lion Street down to Main Street by the old Coca-Cola plant there. On that corner, they will take a right going down Main, heading toward Casey's. And then when they get to A Street, they'll take a left and go south on A Street for about that half a block, and then turn onto Marvin Schwann Drive, go along Marvin Schwann Drive all the way to College Drive, and then turn again to go back up to Main Street, and then proceed to Main Street down to 5th or 6th Street. So it's a couple block jaunt there a little bit, but again, working with the city staff and the contractor, they felt very comfortable about the parade route, and it's you know, we always get, how long is a parade route? Well, we say it's probably 10 plus blocks long, and people will have to be a little bit aware of the changes this year. So maybe we may have more people prior to that intersection, and we may have more people after that in Main Street. So, but I would suggest get there early, because we're looking for a big parade. With the additional fire trucks and things, we're looking for a parade.
Exactly. And I think when you visualize that route, that's very easy route to take.
Correct.
And of course there'll be people out there directing the parade and everything. But it's just, and as far as that construction is concerned, these things happen. We had no idea that there was problems underneath that road, and it's got to be taken care of.
And you know, and like I said prior to us going on the air here, you know, we can look back at this hopefully in 4 to 6 weeks or 8 weeks, whatever the project takes, and say, we're glad we did it. You know, we're glad we did it. Yeah, it took us a little bit longer. It cost us a little bit more money, but you know, it'll work fine for us. It'll work fine for us. And you know, there's a lot of things. Like I said, there's a lot of things going on prior to the 4 o'clock parade. Again, I want to make reference to the Marshall M Club and their 5K run and walk, the Rotary Pancake Breakfast at the YMCA. I know I usually try and go down there, and those guys and those gals do a great job of putting together a good breakfast for a very reasonable cost.
And where is that going to be?
That's going to be at the YMCA.
At the Y, They used to hold it at the airport.
Correct. And one of the new partners that came to us last year was the Escape Spa. They're going to have a kind of a craft fair, family fun event down there, and that starts. They came to us last year again at kind of towards the last end, and they had a good turnout last year. So they're going. And again, that's a family event and I've had people call me, hey, where's the craft fair? Where's the guy? I said, the only place we're having a craft fair is down there. So that starts about 10 o'clock in the morning, I believe, and goes about until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So that'll be fun. Another new event that we're really pumped up for, and we're working with the Marshall Women of Today. They've got a beanbag tournament that they're sponsoring. And they're looking for more teams. Again, they didn't have very many teams as of last night, so if you want to put together a group of your friends, a group of family members, or maybe some people coming in for the weekend or whatever, and go down and participate in a big beanbag tournament, and that will be held at the Varsity Pub. And there's a small entry fee, but they're going to pay out a lot of money and stuff for prize monies. So, and then after the parade, of course, we want everybody to stay downtown. There again, the fire department is going to be serving their hamburgers in recognition of the 125th. There'll be a fee for that, of course, hamburgers and more, and we have other food vendors that will be down there. So if you don't want to have a hamburger, there'll be other things going on. We're working with Tom at the Hitching Post and additional food vendors to bring some stuff. We'll have the inflatables there for the kids, and again, You want to see a lot of smiles on a lot of children's faces. Come down and watch them in the inflatables, because again, it's from the very first year when we had the event in Memorial Park, we continue to have parents come up to us and say, where do I buy my tickets?
Okay.
You don't have to buy tickets, it's free.
Okay.
And again, the expression on their faces, that's what makes us happy, because when they see that and they see their children jumping around in those bounce houses, and this, pardon my terminology, but the sweat dripping off of them, and the sweat and the smiles that they have, it's really great. Then after that, we have some additional. The Marshall Fire Department is they had a raffle this year, and they sold some tickets, and I think they're generating a lot of great prizes, and I'd like to say it's many thousands of dollars worth of prizes that they will be giving away that Saturday night. And again, we're working with the Shades of the Past. They're not actually doing the Cruise in Spectacular this year. They're doing a kind of a show and shine event. The cars are going to be parked on College Drive. People can reminisce, look at the old cars.
Sure.
We'll have prizes for them as well, cash prizes. We have a performance by the Tiger Dance Team. I believe there's a dance camp prior to that, and they always come down and put on about a half hour to 45-minute to an hour show.
Okay.
And again, parents come down and follow them. But we want the parents to stay there. Watch for the entertainment, watch for the other events going on.
Sure.
We hired a band this year. This band was recommended to us a few years ago, and we tried to get them last year. But believe it or not, this band is based out of the St. Cloud area. They're booked 2 years in advance.
Oh my gosh.
So we were fortunate to get them. They're called the Fabulous Armadillos. I had a chance to see them at the Chanhassen Dinner Theater here a few months ago. Okay. And what a show. It's an 8-piece band, and they put on one great show.
Wow.
It's just, they're entertainers, and notoriously speaking, from everything I've heard and read about them and people have told me, they will consistently draw 3,000 to 5,000 people wherever they go.
Oh my gosh.
So if we get an extra 500 people or whatever that come to Marshall, that will partake in this outdoor concert that's free, that spend the night in a hotel or maybe eat in our restaurants, again, that's what makes us happy, because that's how we publicize Marshall and the many good things that we have going on. So that's we're looking for them to play, and during the middle of the night, about 10:30, and we apologize to the local residents down there, being that it is the fire department's 125th. We're going to have some fireworks down there at about 10:30 on Saturday night. It'll be very low fireworks, similar to when they dedicated Memorial Park there. So you hear little banging and booms and things like that about 10:30. We'll ask for your apology right now, or we'll apologize to you for maybe keeping you up if you're not. But so that'll be fun. And then, of course, one of the most popular events that we did not do last year, but we had to bring it back due to overwhelming requests, was the fire department's splash party at the Aquatic Center.
Oh, yeah.
That is, again, you want to see a bunch of kids playing with fire hoses and playing with water, and big kids, believe me, because we go out there and we play with them too, and we have a lot of fun with those little kids out there, and we let them spray the hose, and again, the smiles on their faces is a wonderful thing. But that's another thing. And we worked with a couple of different churches again. Well, one church has been with us for a couple of years, but another one, Grace Life, came again with Living Word Church. They're holding the praise service, community praise service at Liberty Park on Sunday morning. So, if you want to get up early, I know Mark and I are usually taking down barricades until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, so one of us may sleep in, but we try and make an appearance, and I know he's got to go to the Aquatic Center because that is the last day of the pool being open as well. It's free. Again, moms and dads, bring the kids out, and adults come on out, and everything is free at the Aquatic Center, and have some fun. You know.
It sounds to me like there's just one thing after another, straight through from Wednesday till Sunday night. It's just one thing right after another. That's wonderful.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to be, what should I say, bored for lack of something to do, because with the addition of the Friday night lights and working at the university, and there'll be a lot of people in town because the university students moving back. Moms and dads will be here, and they may not be here Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but they're going to be here sometime, some of them over the weekend. And they may put their head on that bed in that motel, and they may, hey, what's all that noise? And and whatever, and they'll walk around and they'll investigate and they'll find out again the many good things that we've got going on, because it's you won't be bored, believe me, by anything. Yeah, and that's what we've aimed to do from day one. We want to keep improving. We want to keep adding. We don't know how much more we can add, because you know, the time frames are, you know, if this event will take an hour, this event will take an hour, and all of a sudden you got the musicians playing for 2 hours, and you know, the time is gone.
It's gone.
You know?
That's right. Yeah. But I think, you know, this whole idea of having this event like this, I look back at, you know, it's a wonderful time to be in Marshall right now, because Marshall is growing. And I'm sure I've said this to you, I certainly have said it to our viewers. Marshall has always been a regional center, and it continues to be. And you know, we could lose that, but we really in a growth period now, and it's not just economic growth, it is also cultural growth.
Right.
And the events like this add to that cultural growth. People that decide they want to work here, they want to be able to see that, well, is there other things going on in like this event, and you know, the Arc Downtown, and all these other cultural things is very important to grow a community.
Correct. And maybe that'll just keep, you know, if they don't go to the cabin every weekend, maybe they'll stay home one weekend a month or something like that. You know, and again, because there are the bike trails and things like that. That was one of the committee members in it, and Mark and I kind of chuckled at it at first, and one of the committee members brought up, can you have a bike rack brought down? Because there are people that ride their bikes down. We said, never. Sure. That's something we didn't think of. So, and the committee member brought it up and said, sure, we're going to work with community services. They're going to bring a bike rack down. You know, if there's only 2 bikes in that bike rack, that's fine. If there's a dozen, that's great. You know, because if people are exercising more, and if they don't want to drive down, ride on that bike, and then you can ride home later on.
That's right.
This is great.
Yes, it's just wonderful.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
So.
But and again, it's I can't thank the city and the city staff. There's a lot of behind the scenes work that goes on. The Schwann's maintenance people, they do a tremendous job of helping us set up the area.
Sure. Yeah.
Those guys, they do a yeoman's job. They really do. The street department putting up all those barricades, taking all those barricades down, and doing all that, and working with Ben and all of his staff, and then the city council. This just doesn't happen overnight, and and people say, well, how much time does it take? And we meet once a month. We usually take a couple months off after August. We'll get together September, October, and the committee will just kind of put a wrap on things and say, what did we do right? What did we do wrong? We also try and look for entertainment for the following year. Then in October, we try and book that right away.
Yeah, because that has to be
correct. So you know, and that's, you know, and again, we probably take you know, the months of November, December, and January off. But then we meet on the second Monday of every month thereafter for 1 hour, and believe it or not, it all comes together.
Sure.
Yeah,
of course.
It really does.
It's just wonderful. Yeah. You got a plan. You started with a vision and a plan, and you knew how to do it, and you did it. Well, and so now we've got it.
I don't know if we've got it, but it's a work in progress. We always call it, it's a work in progress.
I think so.
You know, if you want more information on the parade, if you want more information on the events, everything is being posted on our website. We're also doing advertising in the newspaper, advertising in the radio station. We've got the electronic billboards going. But www.marshallsoundsofsummer.com is where you can find all the information. We encourage you to register for the parade in there, go there, find out all the stuff about all the various things to do, and we want you to become part of our festival.
That's wonderful. Well, this has been so good to have you on again, and we look forward to the event, and I want to personally thank you for all your hard work with this and making this happen for Marshall.
You're very welcome, Elaine. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you for today. I appreciate it.